You're a Texas guy?
I'm a Texas guy.
What kind of Texas?
Central Texas, just outside of Georgetown.
All right. Biggest city, close city?
Austin.
Okay.
Austin. Yeah.
All right. So, but you're still on the east side, kind of, when you say central?
I'm on the
Austin?
west side actually. I'm kind of northwest of Austin, about 45 minutes.
From Fredericksburg.
Fredericksburg, about an hour and a half north.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got
Great town, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's cool. It's it's sort of like, I shouldn't say this to all my Texas buddies will start throwing rocks at me, but it's they got a little bit like Santa Fe in the sense of, for those that got to see it. Well, Austin's like
I don't
that.
throw rocks at that. I love Santa Fe.
Jerry Jeff was the first guy who ever took me on tour. I mean, I
didn't know that.
I got started real crippled. I got hurt bad in the early 70s.
That's so cool. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's neat that, and guys like you, I mean, I'm from Shreveport originally.
Yeah.
So all my influences it was all coming from Austin. I mean, all the cool acts and whatever. And we were all chasing Rusty Weir at that time. Of course, Guy Clark was our hero in Towns and those guys. If you were writing a song, that's what you were chasing.
Absolutely.
And I didn't know that much about Nashville till I got here and almost starved to death. And started listening to the radio and figuring out, okay, what are these guys doing? Because I need to make some money here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But when Guy came to Nashville, it made everything okay for me.
It justified it.
It really did, because then it's like, here's the coolest guy I know and my favorite writer.
Yeah.
And he wants to be here and be a part of this scene.
It must be okay.
Yeah, it must be okay. So anyway, welcome to town, however long you've been here.
Thank you. I actually still live there. I lived here from 2004, and then I've been in Texas ever since.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, it's interesting, I guess, like Justin Moore, for instance. Just a couple of years ago, he packed his whole family up and moved back to Arkansas.
Right.
So there's something about, especially in today's world, being back home with your buds and your fam. And
yeah, that's important to me to have that foundation. I feel more inspired there. The band and the crew and everybody's out of there, and so we could head up to the Midwest quicker and out to the West quicker. And on top of that, there's Southwest Airlines flights that go in and out of Austin all day long. Mm-hmm. I don't feel disconnected. Especially these days, shooting over, Pro Tools tracks and whatnot. I don't feel disconnected at all.
Yeah. What was the tipping point for you to leave Nashville and go back to Texas?
I was writing for EMI Publishing, and I had so many songs that I really wanted to play. Mm-hmm. And I was doing Tootsies 3 nights a week, and of course you don't play any of those songs there. And I felt this calling, overwhelming calling, to go back, start a band again, and start playing and testing out some of these songs. That was the biggest part about it.
So you can't do that here, really?
No, there's just not. There's not many places. You could drive an hour or so outside of town, and you could hit a dance hall, but there's still cover song driven, dance hall 3-set driven. And I wanted to go out and play the originals and in some non-biased markets.
I don't think people really understand that part of it, because I had never been in a cover band. Right. I always just played clubs, did my own music. My last run was down in New Orleans, just playing my own stuff and whatever. This was the first place I'd ever been where I couldn't make a living playing my songs.
Yeah.
I played all the time. I played Writers' Nights. Me and David Lee Murphy and Mark D. Sanders down at the Springwater every other night, banging on our guitars. Yeah. But nobody cared except us.
Nobody cares. And they actually, in a lot of places, discourage any original music.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, Tootsies, it was like, no, don't play those songs. Play what they want to hear.
Yeah. And they want to hear it. Did my drunk ass ever come in there while you were playing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you did. That's why I had to kind of straighten up, tuck my shirt in a little more.
Well, sorry about that. Yeah, because I'm all about tucking your shirt in.
Exactly.
So you've got your Yee Yee hat on.
Yeah.
This is 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
Kelsey Ballerini was in here yesterday with that
That's
hat
what
on.
I heard.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that story.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, you got pretty girls wearing your stuff around.
It's a lot better than me wearing it. Yeah.
So where did Yee Yee come from? You tired of hearing that?
No, I'm not. I'll hopefully never get tired of that because it's what drives us so much these days. But, I always wanted to build this career like a brand where we could have a catchphrase and we could have, in a small sense of the way, have the Nike swoosh. You know what I mean? And so we had a video come out a few years back called Earl Dibbles Jr. And it went viral. And it was an intentional accident. We wanted it to go viral. We just didn't know if it would or not.
Right.
And it was kind of this video about this ultimate country boy that we all have somewhere in our family or friends. And I've got some uncles that are just like this. And it goes viral. And part of the video, he shoots a shotgun in the air and yells, "Yee Yee." And fans just started holding signs up at the shows saying that and tattooing their bodies with it. And we knew we had something, we needed to adopt it.
What do you think the first time you see a fan that's got Yee Yee tattooed on them?
That it's an amazing feeling.
Are you sure you want to do that?
That's my first thought is this permanent? But I've had the talk with the crew recently that's, hey, if you see somebody with the Yee Yee tattoo, be overly nice. Because how awful would it be if they finally met me or the crew and we were jerks and they had that permanently on their body?
Yeah.
That'd be horrible.
I remember one thing that really took me aback kind of early on in my career when things were going good. I got in a publishing deal. I'd actually written a couple of hits and started playing around and getting a little attention and at the Sutler and here and there, clubs around town. And Tony Brown came out to see me one night. And I'd had an independent deal here, but some major labels were starting to poke around and call my publisher and stuff. And he came out to see me when he was kind of getting rocking at MCA with Bowen and all that stuff. And didn't hear anything back. I'm like, what the hell, it's just another one of those. And I asked Don Gant was my publisher. I said, man, call Tony and just see what he thought,
Yeah.
But I was doing some I was a theater major in college, and I was doing some Tom Waits kind of crazy sort of stuff I'd written or whatever. It doesn't have anything to do with country music, but it was always, especially being in New Orleans, you could always get some attention and make the crowd pay attention and shut up at least to play your next song that you want to play or something. And he said, man, I don't know. It's just, he said, he doesn't seem to be taking himself too seriously or whatever, He said, I don't know what that goofy stuff is that he's doing or whatever. And you know where I'm headed with this, because now you got a big old hit #1 record, and so are you afraid Earl Dibbles is going to get in the way of Granger?
Yeah, this obviously put a lot of thought into this to that question, and a lot of people wonder that. We built Earl as a way, ultimately, for a way to trace back to the Granger music. And that's a lot of ways, that's what it did. So when we see somebody, for instance, on social media say, just found out Earl Dibbles is a real singer, his name is Granger Smith, and I actually like his songs. That's a win.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we intended it to be. The popularity of Earl is what we followed from the reaction of the people. So the more they wanted, the more they were into it, the more we took it seriously and gave it to them. And so there's that whole side of it where the answer is, as long as people are wanting Earl, as long as people think it's funny and it's not getting old and it's not getting in the way of other stuff, we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Now having the #1 hit now on the Granger side really helps. And I've always looked at it as a way that the Earl popularity challenges me on the other side, that I've got to get my stuff together. I have to write some hit songs to counterweight that. Otherwise, it becomes a comedy act, which I'm not a comedian by any means. But the flip side of the coin is Earl allows me, as you were saying, to not take myself too seriously, to get out of that box, that stigma that you need to live within sometimes as an artist, and just have fun. And remember that this is the entertainment business. And we get to run out there and shoot off these crowd cannons and wave an American flag and just be be silly with no rules. And that's what Earl gives me. And that is just a huge gift.
Yeah.
To be able to do that.
Hey, for the record, I think it's great.
Thank you.
You know, I mean, anybody that's known me for very long knows I don't take myself too seriously. And I think it's refreshing because there's so many people in the lane writing the same kind of songs, doing the same kind of thing. Everybody's trying to make it. It's the Nashville way. It's always been that way.
Yeah.
You know, and those people that over the years, I don't care who you are, the people that I've always admired from Cash to Roger Miller, Tom T. Hall, they've all had a good smile.
Brooks and Dunn.
Come to think of it, we did a few things along the way that we maybe shouldn't have. But hey, hang it out there and enjoy yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool, man. How was Earl actually born? Because we all do stupid stuff around our friends, and they get to laughing, and you do it again, and
that's it. That's exactly what happened. It was at one time, it was that country guy voice. Hey, do that country guy voice, because, like I said, these stories that Earl has and the way Earl talks is directly related to some people I know, and the stories that he tells are real stories about this city boy getting stuck and spinning in the mud, and we ain't gonna pull him out because he blew us off earlier today anyway. That all that stuff is real, and I've always thought it was so funny, and so it's so easy to slip into that character. And so when we were going through this time, I say we, my brothers and I, when we were going through this time of trying to connect people, trying to find something to go viral, we had done several videos. And Earl was another one of those, hey, let's do that country guy. And my brother Tyler said, I want to call him Earl Dibbles Jr. And that was about all it was. We grabbed some clothes out of the closet and went down at Mom and Dad's place and shot the video.
That's cool. Well, it looks like you worked hard at it. I mean, it's got a lot of stuff going on, I'm like, I've got a little production company. I'm like, man, they spent some time doing this, I mean, it's
I'm glad it looks that way.
It does, it does,
Well, the stuff that's in the video, the old truck that Earl drives is my first truck. Learned how to drive. It's 3 in the tree. It's been wrecked a couple times from when I was a teenager and being stupid. And it actually flipped one time without me in it. Left it in neutral and it rolled down a hill and hit a fence and rolled over. And we had to pull it back over with another truck, and so all the elements. It's missing a door because I backed out of a barn one day, and with the door open, I was looking the other way, and forgot the doors open, and it broke it off. So all the elements of how Earl lives is little pieces of kind of my teenage life. And when we filmed that video, all the things that Earl uses, his props, some buck antlers, an old fan, some chewing tobacco. Some beer cans, a rope, a lasso, all that stuff was just in the back of the truck. So it wasn't like we picked it. It was just, what else do we have in here?
What else we got?
Here's an old rope. And that was just what we filmed.
That's cool. Well, thanks for coming in, man. It's good to catch up a little bit, and I'm sure we'll have you back after your next big hit. I've heard from a lot of people. I haven't got to see you play yet, but I'm looking forward to it because, like Lonnie, who's my producer, who's the most jaded guy in the world here, went and saw you play recently, and he just came back going, man, I really like that guy. He said his show is really good, and he's together. And I guess it's that thing of, you didn't, you weren't on American Idol, and then, didn't have that base underneath you.
We started from the fans.
Yeah.
We started building it from one person at a time, from a bartender to 3 people were in the bar, and basing our show on the combination of what's my story and how do they want it seen and presented. And that's a combination that's not easy to master. It takes years and years and years and years and years. And but once you get it, it's worth it.
Yeah. Well, and I've said it before. I was talking to Keith the other day. I said, man, I would never take away from the pressure that it must be like without that underneath you to go out in front of millions of people and a huge studio audience and all those cameras and this panel of judges and have to perform.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, coming from the bottom up, it's fun, isn't it?
It is. It is. It makes it worth it.
Yeah, it's a great memory. I wouldn't take anything for it.
Yeah.
Well, good, man. Good to meet you.
Thank you,
Look
brother.
forward to having you back.
Absolutely.
All right.